West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
First ball is wide down the leg side, and we are on the way. Guyana are on the way. Quinton Sampson on strike, and that is the first run of the evening. People, I don't even know why I'm doing this. I'm tired, cuz. My name is Special St. Patrick Hugh. See, you can't even say my name. I'm so tired, I don't know what my name is. My name is Special St. Patrick Hugh, on half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. We are here live for the watch-along, the CPL final. But I haven't done a watch-along this late, another one wide down the leg side. Who's bowling? Is it Natreville? Is it Natreville? I can't say my man's name. Oh, it's Russell. Cha-cha. Yeah. So, CPL final. Last time I stayed awake at this time was for the World Cup in 2024. When that was a special occasion though. West Indies were playing. It's a World Cup, one in the Caribbean. I had to force myself to stay awake. I decided that CPL final, where the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, if I don't stay awake for this, then what am I doing? That one's short and down the leg side again, and this one wraps Sampson on the gloves. Maybe that's the plan from Russell to bowl into Sampson's chest. Yeah, he gets a lot of bounce there, Russell, with that third one. I'll go through the teams in a second. Yeah, dug that one in, Russell. And wrap Sampson on the gloves. Oh, yeah, see? Physios already have to come out. Wrapped him on the gloves there. So we're already going to have our first delay of the evening. So people, I was asleep. That's why it's going to take me a while to wake up and get to grips with everything. I went to bed about, how long ago? What time is it? 1, 12, 11. I went to bed about 2.5 hours ago. I was like, let me just try and get 2 hours ago. So let me try and get a bit of sleep in before doing this. So my original plan is to do the following. I'm going to do the first innings, then forget this match. I'm going back to bed. Because can I be real with you lot? Can I be real? I don't even care about CPL final. Obviously, the Guyanese care and the Trinidad care. Couple of people from the Caribbean who've got nothing better to do with their life care. But I actually don't care. How many people right now are watching this who are in the UK? It's 1:05 in the morning in the UK. How many people are awake to watch this? Russell in again, gone. The plan works. Dug in short, straight into Sampson's chest, and Sampson, having been wrapped on the hand, the ball before, the plan works to perfection. Wraps him on his hand, straight to Russell at short leg. Sampson's gone. TKR strike first. Curry up. Oh, then we have to just check if that's a no ball. Yeah, Pollard right under the helmet. You don't know already that's where Pollard stays to get under the one youngster in the match's head. Yeah. That's called actual planning, people. Real planning, proper execution. Guyana 1 wicket down. Sampson looked out of his depth there. You know when like a proper veteran side has studied you and they're like, this young you, he don't know what he's doing out here. This is a final. He don't know what's going on. Dre Russ, the 37-year-old veteran, took down the one Ute man in the whole match. Let me go through the two teams, people, because this match is just full of old men. Let me talk you through the two teams. So, Guyana 3 for 1. Because there was the 2 wides and 1. Right, so let's go for the teams. So, Guyana first. So, Ben McDermott, Ben McDermott, 30 years old. Quinton Sampson, gone already, 25 years old. Shea Hope, 32 years old. Oh, yeah, Shimron Hetmeyer's there. We'll have to count Hetmeyer as a Ute man. Hetmeyer, Moeen Ali, old man. Iftikhar Ahmed. Don't know how old Iftikhar Ahmed did that, actually. Iftikhar Ahmed, old man, 35 years old. Romario Shepherd, he must be 30-something by now. How old's Romario now? Must be 30 at least, maybe 31. Romario Shepherd, 30, about to turn 31. Dwayne Pretorius, old man. Gudakesh Multi. Okay, we can count Multi as a Ute man. He's a 29-year-old Ute man. Oi, Russell again. Dug that in one. What is this? Has this Providence pitch got some pace in it? Look at this. Pollard right under the helmet in Shea Hope's face. Who was the man who called Pollard Big Lips Pollard? Remember that, people, when I did that live? And so a man said in the chat, Pollard's called Big Lips Pollard. I thought, Chacha, man are studying Pollard's lips out here. So to be fair, in again short this time, Hope swivels on that. And that'll be fielded down there, backward square for 1. Yeah, so is that the end of the over? Is that the end of the over? Yeah, end of the over. 4 runs off it. Sampson gone without scoring. Gun Amazon Warriors 4 for 1 at the end of the first over. Yeah, so actually, Sampson 25. Hetmeyer should be 28 now. Hetmeyer 28. Multi is Multi 30. Multi's 30. Jaja is nearly 31 to Jaja. And Shamar Joseph. So Guyana have Shamar Joseph, who's 26, Quinton Sampson, who is 25, Hetmeyer, who's 28, and then everyone else. Obviously, Imran Tahir is 72. So then you look at TKR, Colin Munro, old man, Alex Hales, old man, Nicholas Puran, retired from West Indies, Darren Bravo, old man, Casey Carty, 28, Pollard, old man, Russell, old man, Narayan, old man, Hussein must be 32 now, Travalka, old man, Tariq. How old's Tariq? He's a pelter, by the way. How old is Tariq? Oh, Tariq's 27. So we got an old man final out here. Anyways, Akil Hussain, West Indies captain, into bowl the second over to Hope, who's on strike. Hope is forward, defends, no run. Have you noticed? Sorry, let me just put the score in. I'm going to say it a lot louder after CPL is over, right? But have you noticed that the only, in fact, let me just wait for this ball. Akil Hussain in to Hope, drifts down leg side. Hope tucks that into leg. 2 quick runs. You know already that Shea Hope's a proper runner. 2 runs, gets Ben McDermott moving quickly. Guyana move to 6 for 1. Maybe I'm talking Caribbean Cricket Podcast up here, and maybe I'm wrong to say it, and it didn't go down like that, right? But the first media outlet this season to talk about CPL's being an old man league and it's not helping West Indies cricket, Uppish from Hope, fielded in the covers, no run by Travalka. Yeah, first and the only media outlet to talk about it was CCP. And then do you notice, for those of you particularly who are like YouTube and you scroll through cricket channels, etc., do you notice as soon as we started saying it, then others started saying it? Honest to God, I don't remember anybody saying it until we started being vocal about it, right? Forward, Hope, no run, defended, extra cover. But I think what's more worrying to me, and I get it because obviously some people are working on radio, they're working on TV, is this is so obvious, yet people are talking like it's not a big, like, anyways, I'll come back to it. Pushed down to mid-off. In fact, there's no mid-off there. Long off comes in. 1 run. Is that the end of the over? No, 1 more, I think. Yeah, so the people who actually have influence on the cricket aren't actually talking about it as if like it's not obvious. But bear in mind, I could be wrong. It's not like I've stayed up for many games at 1 in the morning in the UK or midnight when they're a bit earlier to find out what they're saying, right? Normally I just watch the highlights because I'm not sacrificing my life just for CPL, right? But I've noted that it's almost like the great onset. I don't know. I don't know. I've had people sending me private messages saying, "Oh, you know, Masha," but it's like I've had loads of people messaging me in the last few days. Some people defending CPL, saying, "Ah, CPL, it's bought by it's owned by foreign investors. Why are you cussing at the cricket? It helps with employment in the Caribbean. A man are eating a food off it. You're just an Englishman. Why are you cussing something that you're not here to watch?" And da 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 da. Da. And what I kept saying to people was, "Cool. You lot can all say that I'm just chatting and I'm running up my gums, etc., etc. But 3 years from now, sorry, this caused something in my throat. I'm fancy drink some water. There we go. 3 years from now, let's look at the people in this final just as an example, right? 3 years from now, this will be the Trinidad team. Let's just assume Trinidad don't make any changes. This will be their team 3 years from now. Colin Munro, 41. Alex Hales, 39. Nicholas Puram, 33. Darren Bravo, 40. Casey Carty, 32. Kyron Pollard, 41. Andre Russell, 40. Sunil Ryan, 39. Akil Hussain, 35. Right? Retrovalka, 37. That's 3 years from now. So when people have been cussing me over the last few days and weeks and stuff, I've been like, but 3 years from now, unless you think about this, isn't about West Indies now. I'm talking about this is actually about CPL in their own competition. So this is me speaking to the owners of CPL. If you don't plan for the future of your competition and force these franchises to play force them to play young players, you are going to have a situation in 3 years. Russell appeal him, and that's wrapped him on the pads, gone down leg side. They'll run through for one leg by. You are going to have a problem where you need to include these young players. You never gave them any game time because you let these franchises do their dumbness. And then you'll force these young players in, like a Judea Blades. They're not ready to play at this level because they never played any games. And all of a sudden now you haven't got a product you can sell because everybody's retired en masse and you ain't prepared the next generation to come through and play instead of them. So everyone's living in this short-termism of man are getting a food, man are getting a paid, the money's coming in right now, it's all good. Watch the long-term, people. 3 years from now, people are going to come back to me and Santoki and go, you lot were right when you said there's a problem here and you looked into the future and saw what was going to happen. Nobody did anything about it, stuck their head in the sand, and now look. West Indies have just called up Judea Blades and Zishan Matara to tour Nepal, to go to Sharjah to play against Nepal, right? Between the two of them, they played 2 games in the whole of CPL. Right? Can you imagine? That's 4 runs there. Jabbed past short mid wicket, 4 runs by McDermott, or was it Hope? I don't know. Anyways, 4 runs off Russell. So can you imagine that, people? West Indies are in a situation right now where the main guys have gone to India for the test series. We've had to call up like our next set of 15 guys for a T20 series against Nepal. And we've had to call up people who don't even play in CPL, as in their franchises don't pick them. But so you're telling me that players are good enough to play for West Indies, but not good enough to get a franchise game? Jaja. In our own domestic competition. Jaja. And you lot want to jump up and down and say this is really good to watch and it's really jaja. That's why you will never find me jumping up and down about CPL, jumping up and down, saying, this is such a vibe and this is such a this and a that, because it's not helping us. I'm here watching the final because we're a Caribbean cricket podcast. I better watch it. And Guyana versus Trinidad, the people, they get hyped over it, and it's bragging rights. And Guyana and Trinidad are like, it's like an England-Australia rivalry. They're brothers and sisters, and they want to cuss each other out. But I don't care. See, you see, Bish right now is waxing lyrical about it. See? And I get it. Like, if you're on TV, Bish just did the big sell. See, that's what I'm saying. Bish just did the big sell for it. So we ain't really watching CPL for the cricket, because if we were watching it for the cricket, then people would actually talk about what's going on. We're just watching it for the excitement. Anyways, I haven't updated the score. You can see why what I will tell you, if you've just joined in on the live right now, is you can see why Guyana have opted to bat first, because this pitch is going to get lower, it's going to get slower, it's going to favour spin. Hope forward defends, no run. Yeah, it's going to get lower, it's going to get slower, it's going to favour spin. So right now, even with Sampson having gone for a duck, Guyana are favourites. Like, this looks like the type of pitch where you can win with only 130. Like, it's already setting up to be a match like that. This is why I don't like anyways, let me not get the Guyanese upset. Hope down on one knee, flicks that, pops in the outfield, but has enough to roll to the boundary rope, back with a square. 4 runs. Oh, was it McDermott? I thought it was Hope. Hussein's line isn't good here, though. Oh, actually, no, actually, wasn't even a bad delivery by Hussein. Maybe a touch short, but it was a safe shot by McDermott. Down on one knee, sweeps fine. So I'm going to update the score in a minute, people. Just waiting for this over. Hope again. This one, Hope. Hussein up in the air. Think that's enough for 6. Yep. Deep mid-wicket, 6 runs. 6 runs for Ben McDermott. CPL not putting up the score, so I don't know what's going on right now. I think it's 31 for 1. Is that the 4th over? Yeah. 31 for 1 at the end of the 4th over. Ben McDermott is on, I want to say, 21 from 11. Shea Hope, 6 from 11. Is there one more ball left? I don't know. If I got the score right. Fam, I don't know what the score is. CPL ain't telling me what the score is. Did I just make up there's 20? I don't know what's going on, people. McDermott backs away to leg. Inside out. It's high. There's no one down there as well. Deep extra cover. 1 bounce 4. Ben McDermott negotiating a spin from Akil Hussein. It's not 31 for 1. It's 29 for 1, apparently. So that's the end of the 4th over. End of the 4th over. Akil Hussein just took some tap there. 2 overs, none for 18. Andre Russell's bowled 2, 1 for 9. Interesting to see what Nicholas Pooran does next in terms of... He might as well go to the pelter. See how quick he goes to the pelter to extract some spin. We've had an entire tournament of a man just pelting through the tournament, you know. Could, by the end of this match, the pelter might be the top wicket taker in the tournament. Crazy stuff. Right, let's look at some comments. D says the league would have helped CPL. Oh, Narayan's in. Hand behind his back. Typical Narayan. And first ball is a dot. So D says the league would have helped West Indies cricket if Caribbean T20 was still playing. CPL on its own was never going to help us, but it would be short-sighted to get rid of it. Yeah, we're not getting rid of it. No one's talking about getting rid of CPL. For a start, they've got a 25-year contract, so they ain't going anywhere. No one's talking about getting rid of CPL. What I'm talking about is forcing. CPL needs to force their franchises to change the rules, because CPL in its own right, forget West Indies, tries to slog that Hope. Throw hits, but Hope's well in. Was going to say, yeah, we're talking about D, you know, why for that? But we're talking about CPL in its own right is going to struggle as a competition if they don't change their own rules. That's ultimately my point. So even if we put the West Indies stuff to one side, in and of itself, CPL is going to struggle if it doesn't change its own rules. Right, so you know that throw I said hit, I said, oh, Hope's in. That's not a problem, but they've actually gone up to check it. Aleem says, is it confirmed that Jamaica will be coming back next cycle? No, there's not official confirmation, but there's heavy rumours. Yeah, it was well in. I don't know why we were checking it. But there are heavy... Let me eat this Twix because I'm hella tired. Yeah, there is strong rumours that it's already done and dusted, but it's not been officially announced as of yet. Ryan in again. McDermott goes goes back and pushes that down to mid-on for one. Narayan, generally speaking, they just see him out in this competition. The other day, I think in the semi-final or eliminator against St. Lucie, I think he took a 3-fer or 4-fer. But generally, people just play Narayan out and respect the fact that he'll bowl them down if they try and attack. Hope back. Can't beat point, no run. Again, Narayan pushes Hope back. He's able to tuck that to mid-on, 1 run. Isionra says, question, since CPL brings in so much crowds and revenue, isn't it viable for the CPL team and owners and such to invest in that country's facilities? At the end of this tournament, you will see that Narayan into McDermott. McDermott backs away to leg, can't negotiate it, no run. Narayan deliberately bowling into the pitch, 3 runs off it. 30, coming back to your comment in a minute, 32 for 1 at the end of the 5th. Take this all with a pinch of salt, people. So if you're a Guyanese warrior and you're thinking, this is a slow start in the power play, when you're done, this is Guyana, people. It's Providence. The spin is favoring. The pitch is favoring spin. This is likely to get slower as the match goes on. And actually, before I come to this comment on the screen, I didn't finish my point about Guyana. I think this is the last finals week that we're hosting in Guyana, or festival, or whatever they call it. And one of the reasons why I'm glad it's moving away from Guyana is these spin conducive pitches are not healthy. You don't know already that nobody can negotiate spin in the Caribbean properly, right? Apart from about 3 men. So it's no surprise to me that we've seen games in Guyana over the last week, like 150 plays, 130. Like, that's not conducive to good cricket. 5 of the top 6 wicket takers in CPL have been spinners. Yuck. So I'd be glad for them to move it from Guyana and go to somewhere where we might actually see pace play a role. Right, so Isionra says, question, since CPL brings in so much crowds and revenue, isn't it viable for the CPL team owners and such to invest in that country's facilities? Yes, and CPL will put out some press releases at the end of the tournament, because they do this every year, where they'll say CPL brought in X amount of revenue across the whole competition, and it benefited everybody's economy in such and such a way. So the argument, who's on at the moment? Is it Netravalka? Anyways, bowled across McDermott. McDermott wafted at that outside the off stump. No run. Yes, they'll boast about how much investment has been made into the countries, how much revenue came through the countries, and I don't doubt that. Certainly, in the sense of Guyana, does Guyana benefit from returning residents and diaspora residents, and does Guyana get hype for CPL 100%? Does that benefit their economy? Probably 100%, right? But need I remind people of the following? This one is dug into the pitch. McDermott dances down the track. Is high 6. Just got enough over deep mid wicket. I'm not sure it would have been caught anyways. If not, 6 runs for McDermott. But let me just remind people of one particular thing. The reason why Jamaica pulled out of CPL 3 years ago was because they said that they did not agree with the financial reports that CPL were making about how beneficial CPL was to countries. And I can find these specific quotes, and it was Babsy. If you're Jamaican, you should know this. If you're not Jamaican, you probably don't know this. If you're Jamaican, some of you probably don't even know this, right? So there's a lot of people who listen to this who probably don't either remember or know this, right? 3 years ago, Babsy Grange, Minister of Sport and Culture in Jamaica, still Minister of Sport and Culture as far as I can see, down the ground from McDermott, but there is a man down there that looks like Andre Russell, 2 runs. And so Babsy made a statement where she said, we have to pay Jamaica Talawas $1.5 million just to have them. Listen carefully to what I'm saying. If I'm a lion, I'm dying. Babsy said, we have to pay Jamaica Talawas, the entity Jamaica Talawas and CPL, $1.5 million for the privilege of having a CPL franchise in our country. The financial estimates of what CPL brings in to Jamaica does not make it financially worthwhile to have a CPL franchise. Did you hear what I just said? As a result, Jamaica pulled out of CPL because they did not believe that having a CPL franchise in Jamaica brought any kind of long-term benefits to the Jamaican economy that justified paying 1.5 million. That was 3 years ago. God knows what it costs now. Again, across the line, swings, gone. Netravalka wins the battle this time. McDermott went for one big shot too many. He looks up to the sky, sighs. He can only find the man at deep square. I think it's old man Monroe down at deep square. He takes the catch. Netravalka completes the plan, executes the plan, I should say. Swats across the line. It was a Johnson Charles type dunce shot. Wasn't there to be swatted across the line. Could have gone anywhere else. Could have gone offside. Could have gone down the ground. Gives his wicket away. Guyana, second wicket gone. I'll look at the score. Ganga just says Netravalka is aroused. Why for that? 41 for 2, just as we approach the end of the power play. So yeah, so finishing that point about Jamaica people, you decide yourselves. You decide yourselves based on that information that I've just given you about why Jamaica pulled out of CPL. You tell me if you think the metrics that CPL release every year about how beneficial CPL is. You tell me if you believe that. And I'm not saying that there's no truth in it. I'm sure the financial metrics for the smaller nations, maybe it really does benefit Antigua. Maybe it really does benefit St. Lucia. I definitely believe it benefits Guyana, right? But if Jamaica, the biggest nation in the Caribbean, said 3 years ago, this does not financially benefit us. There is no financial upside to having a CPL franchise in our country. What does that tell you? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Listen, people. See, for those of you who are long-time listeners of Caribbean Cricket Podcasts, you've seen my father on this podcast 3 times. My dad raised me and said, Mash, you question everything. When someone in business tells you that what they're bringing is good and there's no negatives attached to it and no downsides, question everything. That's all I'm saying to you lot. I just want to remind people that when this Guyana innings is done, I'm going to my bed. I'm not even staying awake for Trinidad's reply. I have to get up for work in 4 hours, 4.5 hours. So assuming that this innings ends by 2:30, I might be able to get, no, 2:30 is probably a stretch. Assuming this innings ends by 2:45, I might be able to sneak in another 3 hours of sleep. This is TC's fault. She messaged me and said, "Oh, can you do a live watch along for the final? You're not a Caribbean cricket podcast if you don't do a watch along for the final." She knows. Thing is, right, check this out. TC knows about my blood pressure, so I can only assume she wants me to do this to kill me off one final time. But we move, you know, we move. The people requested it, so I got to do the done know, you know. You done know the done know. Michael Douglas says our team needs a leg spinner. Is a common statement from Sammy for over a year now, and he never gave Micah McKenzie one game in the entire tournament. The man played old Shane Thomas even after failing. Yeah. Was Micah in the St. Lucia team? I don't even remember. Who's bowling? Is it Pollard? I'm gonna have to do Pollard's bowling straight after the power play, you know. I did a video the other day about Team of CPL. And I had Pollard in it at number 5 or 6. And I spoke about how Pollard had been bowling a lot more in this year's tournament. I'm going to have to do, in fact, let me not even, thing is, I can't tell people what I'm going to do on CPL because other channels just copy it. So I can't even say nothing. 1:34 in the morning, my voice is going. Let me just eat a Twix. This Twix ain't good for my blood pressure. I'm eating a bar of Twix at 1:35 in the morning. I'm getting taken there. Piece of chocolate at 1:30 in the morning. I'm really getting taken there. Cholesterol's going to be up. Just sort of CPL got me out here mashing up my cholesterol for them. That throw would have been out if it hit. Don't worry, people. I only ate a bit of the Twix, and now I'm drinking water to level it all off. I soon do a live walk up on this show to run off that piece of Twix I just ate. I'm going to do them. What do you say, people? Who wants to see me do a live walk up? I had Spinny on the show last week, the walk up artist. You know, he done told me already how to do a walk up. He said, move from side to side. He said, just do a little side to side when you're listening to soca. And then I'll soon do a little walk up for you lot. Right. I got inspired by Spinny. I'm gonna forget CPL, forget CCP. I'm gonna become a walk up artist. What are you lot thinking about that? Because all I know is Spinny's got 400,000 followers on Instagram, and he does be popping off his body. So I've been inspired. To start doing that as well. So anyways, Big Lips Pollard into bowl, and he's doing what he does, cutters into the pitch, taking pace off the ball. TC says, Mash, you know we can't dance. You know who I dance like? Do you know who I model my dance moves after? This will tell you my age, for those who don't already know, but it'll also tell you about music I listened to as a youth man. Go back to that's cut. Oh, there's no one there. Moeen Ali, just a little touch play there. into the point region and just glides elegantly all the way down to the boundary rope. Oh, it was behind point. But there was no one there anyways, 4 runs. So my dancing is based off the Justin Timberlake Justified era. Now, people, obviously there's some young youths. There's some young youths in this chat right now, so you might not know about it. But the Justin Timberlake Justified era, when he had like Timberland as his producer, all the young youths and even the uncles go listen to the album Justified by JT. Top tier album. Okay, you know when you invite a white boy to the cookout, we invited Justin Timberlake to the cookout with that album. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me when I'm telling lies. We invited Justin Timberlake to the cookout after the album. He came with that real soulful white boy flow. That's all my dance moves are based off that album. The proper old heads in here, the proper old heads in here know about that album. Banger after banger after banger. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me when I'm telling lies, people. I might all bust that album out tomorrow, you know. Real old school driller album, you know. That had me on the dance floor in the Justified era. A couple people listening to me right now going, what on earth is this man talking about? Right. Anyways, back to So Pollard's over is over. What's the score in that over? 51 for 2 at the end of 7. So run rate is 7.28. Who's back in? Akil Hussain to bowl the 8th? Yeah. Akil Hussain to bowl the 8th over. Oh, bowled him. Bowled him. Holt wants to come forward and play it and just, I think he wanted to push it into the offside. He's beaten in the flight. He's bleating with the drift. Bowls him and just touches the surface and skims back a tiny piece. Takes out the offer middle. And if you bowl Shea Hope down like that, that's a good delivery. Hope is a good player of spin, but he gets bowled down by Akil Hussain. Yeah, kiss. Oh, it's a ripper, in fact. It's not even off a middle. It's just off. Pitches and then drifts away from Hope. Done him all ends up. Guyana 51 for 3. Bear in mind that Hope before this game was the leading run scorer in CPL. It's all set up for the 29-year-old retired West Indian Nicholas Pooran to win. What is there a yellow jersey in CPL? I don't even know. So this is a good question. Levi Leo says, Usman Tariq, the god of pelting, of course he's in CPL. Not even Pakistan want to play him because even they know his bowling action is horrid illegal. So I'm going to tell you a lot of story. Make of this what you want. Okay, I'm just going to tell you what I was told. I spoke to some people in Pakistan that I know and said to them, obviously Usman Tariq's been bowling down everyone in CPL. And I said to them, how comes Usman Tariq's not in the Pakistan T20 side? How comes he's not in consideration? As God is my witness, people, when I said that to my friends from Pakistan, and these are cricket people who know the game, right? They laughed when I said it. Listen to what I just said. I said to them, how comes Usman Tariq isn't in the Pakistan T20 side? He's bowling down the whole of CPL. They laughed. They laughed. And they said their exact words were, we don't take him seriously in Pakistan. We don't take his bowling seriously in Pakistan. But we here in the Caribbean have this man pelting down the whole tournament. Like, what do you lot want me to say? And then what do you lot want me to say? And then you want me to jump up and down and wax lyrical about it. The men laughed at me and said, we don't take that man seriously in Pakistan. They said, and then they said to me, haven't you seen his action? They said to me, haven't you seen the man's action? That's the Pakistanis. They ain't taking man seriously. And we have Pelt man pelting down the league. And then when I talk the talk, people say that I'll be talking negative and I don't know what I'm on about. And anyways, Robert Holmes says, people don't come on here before you hit the Bomber Clark like button. Yeah, Robert's right, you know. Hit the Bomber Clark like button, people. Let me leave that comment on there as well. Usman Tariq reminds me of a nuts man. You know, the nuts man in the stadium. That's what he reminds me of. If you saw Usman Tariq selling nuts in a stadium, would you be shocked? It reminds you of a nuts man. Right. So what are we waiting for? What's going on now in the match? I guess, in fairness, if Trinidad get on top in this game, Guyana could always just turn the lights off, you know. What on earth, Mash? Have you seen the Bonnie Blue Bang Bus yet? What the hell's that got? One, what's that got to do with West Indies cricket? Wait, what on earth? Wait, man, talking ain't Bonnie Blue the gal who is just lenging down one like 10,000 man? Oi, that nearly bowls Hetmeyer there. Wait. wait. Big CPL final watch along, and a man is asking me about the Bang Bus. I've heard the name Bonnie Blue. Isn't she the Leng man? Isn't she the Leng like the Leng gal? Someone tell me, am I right, people? Is she the gal who's lenging down like 1 million man? Apparently she's doing it on a bus. But more importantly, Versh, why are you bringing this to CPL final watch along? You must be Versh must be backing his fists whilst watching this. Jaja. CPL has taken Versh there, you know. Man's watching this final going, boy, this is foolishness. Let me just start talking about the Bang Bus. Ah, boy. Anyways, Hetmeyer's out there and Moeen Ali. Akil Hussain still bowling to the left-handed Hetmeyer. Hetmeyer rocks back on that. Shovels that back with a square for one. Ian James says CPL doesn't take CPL seriously, not when they allow 5 overseas players to play, when the max any other league gives is 4, not when they have 2 over 40 captains. Yeah, this is the other thing as well, Ian, though. This is why I think Santoki and I did an episode a couple of weeks ago where we said that CPL's got to be very, very careful in so much as if they insist on these rules that they're currently using, what's the difference between them and that international league? You know, that international T20 where basically there's no restrictions on any overseas players. CPL's in grave danger if they don't watch out for their future and prioritize some youth development in the next 2 to 3 years. They're in grave danger of CPL just becoming an international T20 league where they have to rely on overseas players because we don't have any of our own to play. So yeah, valid point there. Ghost George says, Mash, why weren't you present at the Sammy press conference? Was hoping to hear your questions. Yeah, so what happened? Where was I? What day was that? There was a reason why I couldn't do it. Was it Tuesday? Or was it Wednesday? Either way, I was on the road. And by the time I got home, it was 4:30. And I sat down. I was like, should I log in now? I know it started half an hour ago. I was like, I can't be bothered. I listened to it all though. Tariq drags that leg side. Hetmeyer gets down on one knee, wants to try and go for the slog sweep, doesn't connect properly, one run. Mikhail says in 11 innings, Hetmeyer has only faced more than 10 balls in 3 innings. Man hates to be out there in the middle. In those 3 innings, though, he has a 49 and 250 plus scores. Yeah, I think I'm going to be doing something on Hetmeyer, so I'm reluctant to give away all my spices right now. But suffice to say this about Hetmeyer. Hetmeyer is what he is now. And the days of us believing that Hetmeyer can actually bat are pretty much, well, this is my take on it. My days, let me just talk about myself. I'd rather everybody take it in and understand, but let me talk for myself. The days of believing that Hetmeyer can actually bat are over. Hetmeyer basically, even at domestic league level, forget international level, even if we just focus on domestic league level. Well, it looks like Tariq has bust up his pelt in hand. Hold on 1 second. I'll come back to Hetmeyer point in a minute. What just happened there? So Moeen pushed the ball back. Oh, looks like, is it left or is it right? Was he jarred? Is he jammed it? Yeah, so Moeen pushed the ball back down the pitch and Tariq went down to stop the ball, fielded off his own bowling, but it looks like he's jammed his pelt in hand into the ground. So anyways, the physio is out. Plenty of time being taken up in this game with stoppages. Yeah, so to finish the Hetmeyer point, Hetmeyer actually can't bat anymore. And even if we look at just domestic league level, Hetmeyer is a 1 in 5 or 4 guy at domestic league level. And there's enough leagues around the world who are willing to pay Hetmeyer big bucks to be a 1 in 4 guy or a 1 in 5 guy. Because when Hetmeyer does come off, it's usually a match-winning innings, or certainly an innings of real significance and slogging. And league people are willing, the dodgy franchise owners are willing to pay him big bucks to be a 1 in 4, 1 in 5 guy who has the potential to be a 1 in 2, 1 in 3 guy. Then when we take it up to West Indies level, the level of stink is even worse. Like West Indies level, he's like a 1 in 7 guy. And we are prepared to play him because we don't have any options, right? And we remember what he was like as a youth man when he took his conditioning seriously. So we're still holding on to the Hetmeyer dream. But me personally, I've given up on the Hetmeyer dream. That doesn't mean I don't see him as being part of the World Cup squad. I've just written an article, actually, which is, remember, Caribbean Cricket News People goes live tomorrow. I'll tweet out about it and post about it once it goes officially live, but it's live tomorrow. You'll see some articles on there already to read. And I've mentioned that by my estimation, Hetmeyer is a 100% certainty to go to next year's World Cup, T20 World Cup. But that says more about our options than it does about Hetmeyer. Honest to God, Hetmeyer's belly is bigger than mine. Now, there was a time, yeah, not even a joke, yeah, because his belly does be jiggling. So Hetmeyer's belly is bigger than mine, right? And obviously, since the blood pressure thing, I've been in the gym 24/7. I'm a skinny youth these days, you know. I was looking in the mirror the other day and I was like, Jaja, I'm becoming a skinny youth out here. That's why I'm saying to you, look, 2026, divorce season, I'm back. But yeah, these days I'm becoming a skinny youth, but Hetmeyer's belly does be jiggling, and that's outrageous for a 27-year-old. No, sorry, let me rephrase that because people might get triggered. It's outrageous for a 27-year-old athlete. A 27-year-old can have a belly that jiggles. That's fine. Like, you paid for it, do your thing. But for an athlete who is playing at the highest levels of the game, that's outrageous. 27 and your belly's just jiggling like the bang bus. Anyways. I'm getting taken there. I'm getting taken there. Oh boy, this is why I don't stay up for the 1 o'clocks, you know, because the more we go into the night, the more I start getting reckless. Narayan into Hetmeyer, good, well played by Hetmeyer, but fielded at extra cover, no run. What's the score? 57 for 3. We're coming up to the halfway stage. TC says, break down what a bang bus is, please. So a bang bus, it's a long inside out from Hetmeyer, doesn't beat point. Oh, is it Darren Bravo there? A bang bus is a bus that a porn star, if I'm not mistaken, is a bus. Well, this is what I assume it is a bus. Again, no run. I'll come back to the bang bus definition in a minute. Half-time, people. 57 for 3 after 10 overs. Was it a timeout? Whatever. Anyway, so a bang bus, TC, is where a porn star goes on a bus and bangs bare man if it's a gal. Obviously, you could, I presume there are homosexual equivalents of a bang bus, but you basically go on the bus and, like, in the back of the bus, a bed is set out and you're just having bare, for this Bonnie Blue gal, she just having bare man juice her down at the back of the bus. I assume this was happening anyways. Is that what happened on the bang bus? I think so. Is that what? I actually don't know. Now I've said that, I'm not even sure if that's what a bang bus is, you know. I think that's what it is. Oh boy. Oh boy. Is that what? Ghost George says, Mash, you watch too much Pornhub. No, it's not me, you know. Thing is, all the porn sites in the UK are now blocked. I don't know if you lot know that. So in the UK, they passed a law about 3 months ago that you have to put your ID in and verify it to be able to watch pornography in the UK. So a couple of thirsty men in the UK are down horrid right now. They're absolutely down horrendous. All man with no gal are just walking around with blue balls in the UK. Men are on the black market and the deep web trying to get VPNs because they're in crisis because the UK government says no porn for no one. Down horrid, down horrendous. It's the equivalent of West Indies being 27 all out in the UK right now. Men are in the trenches and on their knees. Right, so back to the game. Guyana 57 for 3 at the halfway stage. What's the time? This is why I hate T20. Do you not remember when T20 cricket was just like 3 hours long and you could actually know that I get to go to my bed at XYZ time and And it'll be the halfway stage at this time. And this match started 57 minutes ago, and we're only 10 overs into the game. It's supposed to be quick cricket, you know. So CPL currently on the TV, they're celebrating Chris Gale. I think it was his birthday today. I'm going to tell you, I did a big thing on Twitter today about Chris Gale. Can I tell you lot something, right? And I'm not saying this to trigger guys. If there's any uncles on here, you're about to get triggered. Chris Gale, the only cricketers, batters, we're just talking batters now, forget the bowlers. The only West Indian batters better than Chris Gale in the whole of West Indies cricket history. Batters. Brian Lara. Oh, Pelter's in. And Moeen Ali has gone high. Oh, he's lucky. It plugs with 3 men converging on it. Russell's clapping his hands in frustration. He felt one of them should have called it and taken it. It went high, and plugs on the leg side. Surely one of them should have been able to get there. Russell, Netravalka, and Monroe all conversion it. No one takes a catch. 1 run. Russell thinks somebody should go. That was a pelt. That right there was a pelt. When people say to me, how do you know? When people say to me, how do you know Tariq is pelting? That delivery, that second delivery was a pelt. That was a pelt. I don't care what anyone says. That was a pelt. Man does be pelting live on the screen. That was a pelt. That was a pelt. That one was a pelt, and he's got the wicket with it. I want everyone to watch that delivery back. Let's just bowled down. Who just got bowled down? Who just got bowled down there? It wasn't Ali. Was it Hetmeyer? No, Moeen Ali bowled down. Ali bowled down for 10. Watch that delivery back, people. I think that's a pelt. Is that a pelt, people? Either way, he's bowled him down. 57 for 4. 57 for 4. Tariq takes a wicket and moves to become the top wicket taker in CPL this year. Bowls down Ali. Guyana lose another wicket. Are there any cricketers watching this live right now, or people who watch cricket? Tell me if that was a pelt. I think Tariq, how many balls? There's been 3 balls bowled in this over. I think 2 of them he pelted. Someone, I've got the screen in front of me, but somebody who's got the benefit of TV rewinding options, rewind ball number 2 and ball number 3 of that over, and tell me if you think both of those balls were clean. I am adamant. If the Moeen wicket wasn't a pelt, then the one before it was a pelt. One of those 2 deliveries, if not both, were pelted as far as I'm concerned. Right, so Anthony Levier says the second was a pelt. That was the one I originally said was pelting. Then I looked properly for the third one and said, I think that's a pelt as well. At least one of those 2 balls was an out-and-out pelt. At least one. I'm willing to accept that maybe the wicket one wasn't, but the one before it, if you've got a rewind, go watch the second ball of that over. I am adamant he bowled it quicker, and he basically just flung the ball at Moeen Ali. I could be wrong, and people can say, but Mash, you don't know how to play cricket properly. Who are you to say? But that looked like a pelt to me. Man just flung the ball. Literally just flung the ball. Can I ask you lot something, by the way? Is Puran really captain of this side? Because it doesn't feel like he is. Like when I've watched highlights, accurate again from Tariq, 60 for 4 at the end of 11 overs. It feels like the captains are actually Pollard and Bravo, and Pooran's just been made captain to make it look good. It don't really look like Pooran's making any big decisions out there. It's like Pooran's the puppet captain, and actually Pollard and Bravo are just deciding what happens. That's how it looks to me. What do you lot reckon? No, Pooran ain't really out there leading the side. Thing is, I need to go back and watch my TKR video. Nikhil Hussain in for the start of the 12th over. I need to go back and watch my TKR video, because I swear when I did the preview of the tournament, I said in my TKR video, I think TKR win this year, and that they're all set up to win it this year. Obviously, they could get bowled down by a Guyana's spinners when they come to bat, but Hussain into, I don't even know who's on strike at the moment. What's that man's name? Is it Iftikhar Ahmed? Anyways, he's tucked it fine for 4. Is it Iftikhar Ahmed? Yeah, Iftikhar Ahmed. Badri just said 19 runs since the power play. Right, so Len Archer says he's not pelt him. I presume he's talking about Tariq. Look at it carefully, and his hand rotates around. There's no bend or jerk that I see. Did you look at the second? Is that, Len, is that about the second and third ball of the over, or is that in general? Oi, kills ball there, beats the outside edge, no run. Lime says, was Sammy really captain of the T20 World Cup winning sides? Yeah, but the difference is here, Lime, pushed into the offside, no run. The difference here, Lime, is that with Sammy, you could visually see him leading the side. Yes, he had experienced players around him, but you could visually see Sammy in 2012, 14, 16 leading the side. I don't visually see Pooran leading the side. I see Pollard visibly leading the side. Yeah, so in fairness, because I want to be non-biased, Len says that Tariq isn't pelt him. So there are different opinions on this, people. So I think he was. Len's looked back at it. He's rewinded and looked back at it, and he says, no, that's not a pelt. So in fairness, there's different ways of looking at this. Right. Hetmeyer on, I forgot Hetmeyer was out there, you know. Hetmeyer's on 4 from 12 balls. Hussain into Hetmeyer. Hetmeyer wants to go on the slog again. Down the ground, gone. Pollard takes the catch. At long off, Pollard looks straight into the Guyanese crowd to take the piss out of them. And Hetmeyer, as usual, gets less than 10 runs. As usual, slogs out, gets out. Rewind this live, people, back to what I said about Hetmeyer literally 10 minutes ago, and you have just got the perfect illustration of what I'm talking about. And Hetmeyer will now walk off. He'll be like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. This is Hetmeyer. He's a 1 in 5 guy at domestic league level. At this stage of Hetmeyer's career, he's supposed to be able to win games on a fairly regular basis, given his talent. He's just not capable of batting properly anymore. He just can't. 60 for 5, people, after 12 overs. 60 for 5. And you see the thing with Hetmeyer? I still have him as a certainty to go to the World Cup. And yet this is who he is. 60 for 5 after 12. Oh, 65 for 5, not 60 for 5. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. Who got that wicket? Was it a kill? Giveaway there from Hetmeyer. He was feeling the pressure. He only had 4 runs off 12 balls. Felt like he had to slog straight down the throat of Pollard at long on. And then when Pollard took the catch, turned to the Guyanese crowd and stared them out. Tariq back in. Tariq drives. Was that a drop? Was that a drop? Iftikhar Ahmed tries to fetch that, and that's just, yeah, Guyanese fans cussing when Big Lips Pollard turned and looked at them, but Trinidad well on top, bullying Guyana at this point in time. Lime says, what are your thoughts on Badesi this CPL? My thoughts are this. Are you sure this man ain't pelting people? That one looked like a pelt as well. So Badesi only played 7 of St. Kitts' 10 games. This despite the fact that Badesi took 7 wickets at, 24 apiece with an economy of 8, and yet he only played 7 of the 10 games. He looked like he had good control over his flight. He looked like he had a good set of variations, but he still only played 7 of the 10 games. What does that tell you? I think he deserves his pick to play Nepal, because obviously we're looking for a leg spinner and a spinner that isn't just a left arm orthodox who can just offer us something. But the fact that he couldn't even get picked for 10 straight games worries me. A Justin Timberlake in the crowd there. He looking to get on that bang bus later. Anyways, Jaron Samuel says, no, Tariq is not pelting. Anytime people see a bowler with unusual action, they always say he's pelting. Duran, do you know that he's been called twice in PSL? He got called in PSL this year. He got called in PSL last year for pelting. So you're a better man than me if you think he's not pelting. Every time I see Irfan Ali, he's doing up. He's very good at playing the media game. Like, he's always visible. He's very good at doing the populist thing. Guess that's part of being a statesperson. Um, 69 for 5 from 13. To be fair for Guyana, if this game gets too difficult for them, they could always just lock the lights off and just say, boy, we can't get the lights back on, and the game just gets abandoned. So they've always got that in their locker if needs be. Just lock off the lights. Netravalka back in to bowl. How many has he bowled so far? Netravalka has bowled 1 over, 1 for 9. We have Dwayne Pretorius and Iftikhar Ahmed in at the moment. Balls in at the pads of Pretorius, no run. When was the last six? Was it when Ben McDermott? In fact, there's only been 2 sixes in the whole Guyanese innings. I need to see what dot ball percentage is in this innings so far. Boy, Mummy said Hetty Meyer gave away his wicket stupidly. Mummy said don't do stupidness, you know. Big up, Mummy. Why do Guyanese call Hetmeyer Hetty Meyer, by the way? Why is this Guyanese man dressed like the devil? Jaja. Yeah, so is there any is there any Guyanese in the chat right now? Why do so many Guyanese call Hetmeyer Hetty Meyer? Yeah, so whilst I wait for the Guyanese to tell me why Hetmeyer is called Hetty Meyer, let me look at this comment. So Mikkel says, Badesi never played the first 3 games, but after he got his chance, he wasn't dropped. Yeah, I hear that, but my point is this, Mikkel. If you had watched Badesi during the Breakout League, I know you did, but if St. Kitts had watched Badesi during the Breakout League, which they obviously must have done because they drafted him, right? You would have then seen him in the nets. What would have made them think he shouldn't have played from the start? This is my point. Like, but anyways, either way, he's earned his way into the West Indies team. Jeren says, would you say Bumrah is pelting? No, because Bumrah bowls at the international level and hasn't been called at the international level. If you put Tariq to bowl at the international level, he will get called in his first game. I guarantee you that. Why do you think Narayan never came back to international level? Come on, man, stop it. Let me put it another way for you, Duran. Do you know how hard it is to get called in a down bad domestic league? Remember, Tariq has been called in his own domestic league, right? We don't call Narayan in our own domestic league. Are you following? Tariq got called in his own domestic league twice. Them things don't happen, not in your own domestic league. I get it when you're called in international domestic leagues elsewhere, but in your own domestic league, a man is going to give you chance after chance after chance in your own domestic league, and they've still called him every year. Come on, man, do the maths. Do the maths. That boy Dom says, I have a serious question. How did Shamar Brooks even get a CPL contract and he didn't play cricket in years? Because apparently CPL is really good for our cricket. That's why. Apparently, who's he even with? Is he with Guyana, actually? Maybe they couldn't find a better player than Shamar Brooks, even though Shamar Brooks hasn't played significant domestic cricket in years. They couldn't find anyone else. They couldn't find anyone else. There was no one else in the Caribbean they could find. JG679 says, should Carrier go to India instead of Anderson Phillip? Why is Carrier in CPL? Is he with TKR? I don't remember seeing him play a game. I think he's with CP. I think he's with TKR. And is he gone? Oh, half volley. Tariq's bowling out. 3.2 over. 3.2 overs, 1 for 11. In fairness, as much as some of you are saying, Trinidad are going to win this, remember Guyana have their cadre slog sweep there from whoever's on strike there. Oh, Iftikhar Ahmed, 6. Finally a 6. Slogs Tariq out of the ground for 6 on the leg side. That's the first 6 since over number 2 or 3. Ball slower in response to Rican. Ahmed works to enter the offside for 1. Right. Guyana 83 for 5. Oh, he nearly bowled him down there. Bowled that one up in above his eye line. Wanted Pretorius to go after it. Doesn't connect properly. Yeah, I agree with Len. Runs on the board means something here. Cuts doesn't beat point, no run. Runs on the board means something here. So if Guyana can get their way up to what are they on at the moment, 84 for 5 at the end of 15, still a lot of time left in this game. If Guyana can find their way up to like 135, something around that, then they can win from here. So anyone who's thinking, Warriors have fumbled the bag, I wouldn't say so, people. I think they can still win from here. Marlon says, I'm just tuning in. You must be off tomorrow. Nope. I've got to get up for work in 3.5 hours. So, funnily enough, Marlon, I was just looking at the time and I was saying to myself, right, regardless of where this game is at regardless of where this game is at in 30 minutes, I'm logging off no matter what. Even if Ghana haven't finished their innings, I'm giving it 30 more minutes and I'm logging off. I couldn't care less what's going on with this game. I've already been on for 1 hour and 17 minutes. It's ridiculous that we're not even close to the innings being over yet, right? T20 cricket is not supposed to go on this long for an innings. Full toss by Russell. Trying to find the Yorker. Really, that was a gimme. That's a gimme delivery, but Pretorius could do nothing with it. Sorry, couldn't do much with it. Just punches it down the ground for 1. Sheldon says Guyana cannot win unless they score 160. Let me look at who Guyana have got to bowl spin today. 4 from Bolty, 4 from Tahir, 4 from Moeen Ali if they wanted to. So that's already 12 overs of spin if they wanted to. And even Iftikhar Ahmed, they could ask to bowl. So I wouldn't rule Guyana out here. Oh, straight wide. Morgan says, I too can do what Tariq is doing with 2 mangoes and a big stone. Doesn't connect cleanly there. Pretorius wants two, will only get one. Oh, God. Yes, people. So what is there for me to plug here? Merch is out at the moment. You can get your new Caribbean Cricket Podcast merch, people. Blue, pink, white, and maroon. You can get those shirts in all colours. Bump ball, no rum. Caribbean Cricket News Caribbean Cricket News, CCP's answer to ESPN Cricinfo and Crick Buzz in terms of certainly written content. That goes live tomorrow. What else do we have to plug? Become a Patreon. You can go to www.patreon.com/Carib Cricket if you want to support the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. If you don't want to become a patron, you can use Super Chat, Super Thanks, slashed. Split the two fielders, 4 runs there from Pretorius. You can become a patron if you don't want to do that. Super Chat, Super Thanks, buy me a coffee, any of that to support Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. Haven't said that at any point in the course of this 1 hour and 20 minutes. Like, share, and subscribe to support the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. We're on all the social media handles: TikTok, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, all of them. Facebook, you can find us on there as well. I'm probably leaving something out. We've got our website has been updated. Go to www.caribbeancricketpodcast.com. We've got a brand new website that is out. We've been working on it in the background for the last 2-3 months or so. It's still in its soft launch stage or beta stage, but it's out. We've completely revamped it. So go look at our brand new website. That's where you can find all the links to everything. Anyways, lots going on at the Caribbean. Oh, we've launched the Caribbean Cricket Network. Might drop a new video from the Caribbean Cricket Network next week, so look out for that as well. So lots and different stuff going on. Tony says, "Bro, this game sucks." I've stopped even looking at what the score is. Let me find out. The score is 93 for 5 from 16 overs. Let me update the score. Oh, Russell, his knee is bust up, so he's going off the field. I think he's probably hurt himself fielding off that last. Oh, actually, I thought it was the end of the over, but Russell his body has bruck up on him, and he didn't actually complete his over. I reckon Pollard will bowl the last ball. So let's see who. So, oh no, did he bowl out? No, he bowled out that over. I thought Bish was saying he hadn't finished over. He's finished his over. So, what can Trinidad do here? Narayan's got 2 left. He'll bowl those, and then probably Netravalka will bowl. You'd assume that's the last 4 overs: 2 from Narayan, 2 from Netravalka. Pretorius takes on Narayan's first ball. 6 slogs that in front of square for 6. I don't know who was on the boundary rope. It just went over whoever's on the boundary rope. Might have been Akil Hussain. Rare that you see Narayan get slogged by anyone. Was it McKenny Clark? Who the hell's that on the boundary rope? It's a sub fielder. Might be McKenny Clark. Lime says, "Am I doing YouTube memberships?" No, not yet. I don't really understand what it's all about. And also, to be honest, Lime, I don't even know what I'd offer. I don't know what, if I did YouTube membership, I don't even know what I'd offer. That would be interesting to people. Pretorius goes after him a second time, this time down the ground. 6. Back-to-back 6s. Timely intervention from Pretorius. If you watched my team of the CPL video I did a couple of days ago, I had Pretorius in my team at number 8. This is precisely why the guy has been the top wicket-taking seamer in this year's competition, and he's played useful hands like this, slogging at the back end. That's why he was in my team of the tournament. Pretorius 24 of 16. Single this time. Doubt you. I feel like Narayan's got something left in him, though. I feel like he's going to have a timely wicket at some point. You don't rarely get to take down Narayan like this. Duran says, what do you think is a good score? Iftikhar Ahmed tries to go after Narayan this time, but just slogs it flat to Casey Carty. So the last few balls, Narayan has been drying the ball with his rag. So I am starting to wonder about... They're showing a stat on the screen that tonight's pitch has spun more than any of the other pitches that have been used at Providence. But Narayan's been using his rag. So I don't know what the dew's saying at this right now. Duran says, what's a good score? Where are we at now, right? So it's 107 for 5 at the moment. Another hold up in play. I'm going to my bed in 20 minutes. Forget this, man. Yeah, Narayan is rubbing the ball down with the rag, you know. That tells me that that dew is starting to form, because why would Narayan be doing that? Wee. That one tucks up Ahmed. Right, end of the over, 108 for 5. 108 for 5 at the end of 17. So I'd say a good score for Guyana, and what I'd say is a minimum score they need from here at this stage of the match is 140 minimum. From this stage, they should be aiming for 140 minimum. So Netravalka will bowl the 18th over. You assume Narayan bowls 19th, and then Netravalka will bowl the final over. Oh, gosh. I need to go back to my bed, people. So I've had... I've had an hour and a half sleep so far. If I go to bed in the next 20 minutes, I can cash in another 3 hours before work. Goes wide. Pretorius goes after it. I think that's out. Gone. Finds Big Lips Pollard, who looks at the Guyanese crowd again. Netravalka sucked Pretorius into the plan. Pollard does the little one-step, two-step with Darren Bravo. Pushed it wide, Netravalka. And Pretorius couldn't resist. Went wide for it. Went for the 6. Never caught it flush on his bat. And finds Pollard down at long off. There's the wicket. 108 for 6. Can't lie to you all. At this point of the encounter, I've stopped caring what's happening. I'm just hoping the game fast forwards to halftime, and then you lot can watch like the live show or whatever it is they're doing at halftime, and I'm going to my bed, cuz Right, Romari Shepherd is in. He's got the potential of what, 16 balls or so to face if he can. Goes after that first one. Did they run? Did they run that? Did he run on the fumble? Don't think he did. Right. So, Shepherd did run on the misfield. They've got Ahmed, and that's another single pushed in to the covers for one. Trafalgar will take that. Wicket 1-1. 3 balls left. Can't beat cover. No run. Wicket 1-1 dot. Oh, no ball. Oh, no ball. Sorry. Trafalgar's bowled a no ball. Is it a no ball? Wait. Is it his back leg? What's the no ball? Must be. What's the no ball there? Pollard's cussing. Pooran's cussing. They've obviously seen the delivery on the screen, so they're saying, how can that be given a no ball? Right, yeah, they've turned it round. Yeah, because I was like, what on earth is that? Irfan Ali's money must have landed in the account, and he got the signal to do what he had to do. But Pollard and Pooran was cussing, and the decision has been turned over. Next delivery is pulled down to long on for 2. I does be tired, people. I does be tired. I blame TC. 1.5 hours of my sleep has been lost for this. Travalka back in to who's on strike now? Is it Shepherd? Punches square. No run. 1 run. End of the over. End of the over. 113 for 6 at the end of the 18th over. Tired, you know. I never finished my Chris Gale take. I just remembered I started a Chris Gale take earlier on in the day and never finished it. So, is that 4? Shot by Ahmed. through the covers, extra cover for 4. It's rare that Narayan's got tapped like this. This one down the leg side. Iftika cannot connect, no run. Yeah, so here's my Chris Gale take before I forget, because there's only like 8 more balls left, or 10 more balls left before I go to my bed. Actually, let me wait for Narayan's over to be over. Ahmed wants to go again, goes down the ground, and that's fielded for 1 by Darren Bravo. The only batters in the whole of West Indies cricket history that are even in the same conversation with Chris Gale are George Headley, Brian Lara, Gary Sobers. Gale is better than everybody else. Fight me. Fight me for it. I'll say it again, this time in feeling. That time he connects high up in the air. Is that Shepherd? Is that enough? Yes, it is. 6. Deep mid wicket. Lime says and Viv, Chris Gale's better than Viv Richards. Chris Gale's better than Viv Richards. Viv can't even hold a candle to Chris Gale. Right. Is this the final ball of the over? Shepherd down on one knee, wants to slog it. No run. It'll be a bye. Oh, they might get an extra run here. No. Someone's backing up. And Narayan ends with 4 overs, none for 30, which seems a tad expensive in the context of the game. But then actually, I mean, his last 2 overs caught some tap, but first two, he was so economical that he actually has evened out with everybody else. 1, 2, 6 for 6 at the end of the 19th over. Six balls left, and then I can lock off this live and go to my bed. First ball. Who's bowling it? Oh, Netravalka. 1 run. Right, so Sheldon Smith said, Mash, did you watch Viv live? What I'm saying is Gale played in a different era to Viv and all them, man. And Gale played with no opener for his whole career, right? Gale has 2 test match centuries. He found a way to dominate at test match level, despite everyone saying he was a limited player. He found a way to dominate at ODI level, despite everyone saying he was a limited player. And he's the T20 greatest batter of all time, right? Like, context matters for me. Viv and all those greats from the 80s played in a team full of greats. It's easier to be a great when you're playing with greats. Gale played with a bunch of fart men and was still a great. Argument done for me. Punched. Pollard is down there at long off, sorry. 1 run. Good over this from the Travalca so far. Yeah, so Bish has just said on comms that there is clear dew formation going on. So it'll be interesting to see how does that affect Guyana when they come to bowl. The problem with West Indies cricket is the 80s have us in a chokehold. So we've been led to believe by the uncles from their time when they were young men in the 80s that what they saw, kind of like the Pele Maradona stuff, like we've been led to believe that what they saw is the greatest thing of all time. And in terms of West Indies results, yeah, of course it was the greatest thing of all time. But that don't mean that the modern era guys aren't greats in their own right. If Chris Gale hadn't gone to play franchise cricket when he did and lost some years to West Indies cricket, people wouldn't even be debating this with me. They'd be like, yeah, Gale's like a top guy in West Indies cricket history. That's fine. Yeah. All I know is this. If I had to pay to watch an opener in Test match cricket and I had a choice between Desmond Haynes, Gordon Greenidge and Chris Gale, I'm picking Chris Gale. If I had to pay money to watch, fight me someone. I know I'm picking Chris Gale before them two. Fight me. Full toss, up in the air. I think that's out. Yeah, Big Lips Pollard takes another catch. And he takes a picture of the crowd cussing him. I think that was the final ball of the over. Was that it? Was that the final ball or is there one more? Oh, there's one more. Netravalka gets his third wicket, 3 for 25. One more ball to go. So 130 for 7. I said that Guyana should have been targeting 140. It looks like they're going to get maybe... Who's coming out? Is it Multi? Yeah, Multi will face the last ball. Okay, my take on this, because I'm about to log off. This is my take on, and you lot obviously can enjoy the rest of the match, but I'm going to my bed. I've got work. I've got to get up for work in 3 hours. Right. This is my take on it. If the dew formation is real and the ball is becoming a bit more wet and you're having to use your rag to dry it down, Trinidad win this game, irrespective of all the spinners that Guyana also have. If the dew formation isn't that significant, I think Guyana can bowl down Trinidad and win this. And we'll have like a 130 plays 120 game. Last ball, no run. No. Run out. 8 wickets gone down. Puran runs out. Shepherd. That's the end of the Trinidad innings. They are 130 for 8 at the end of the innings. 4 wickets for Netravalka, who, remember, came in at the back end of this tournament as a replacement for Mohamed Amir, who went down injured after 7 games. And in the CPL, it means that Netravalka ends this CPL with 7 wickets in the tournament. I think he's more than done his job as a replacement in that regard. Some man played the whole tournament and didn't get 7 wickets, right? So 130. Given that Guyana chose to bat first, I think they probably would have wanted a tiny bit more than 130. They were probably looking at 150 minimum on this type of pitch. Their spinners are going to have to do a lot of work. They're going to have to do a lot of work on this to try and make sure they can defend the 130. But make no mistake, they can defend 130. This could easily be a 130 plays 115, 120 game. So it's 138, 30 for 8, by the way, not 130 for 7. So it could easily be your 115, 120 game. But if I'm Trinidad, how I set this up is basically obvious. You say to Munro and Hales, you lot just go for it in the power play. Because remember, the ball's not going to grip immediately at the start of the game, right? Well, might do, but it's the power play. The men are in. So if I'm Trinidad and Dwayne Bravo, I say to Munro and Hales, just go for it. If Munro and Hales can get Trinidad up to like, I don't know, 35 without loss after 3 overs, they're already like the drama is already starting to come out of the chase. But anyways, you lot enjoy. I'm going to my bed. I've got to get up in 3 hours to go to my work. Thank you for those who joined me for certainly the first innings of this live. I hope you enjoy the rest of the CPL final. If you didn't do so on the way out, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about CCP. Remember, Caribbean Cricket News, our written arm of Caribbean Cricket Podcast, launches tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed, or I just plugged out my mic and carried on talking. So let me just do it through the laptop and then bounce. So the audio will sound different now, people. So if you haven't done so, subscribe to Caribbean Cricket News. That launches tomorrow. You'll see 3 articles are already on the site, ready for your reading pleasure. So go check those out. I'll post online when it's all good to go. But that's me, people. I need to go to my bed. I've got work to get to. Thank you for joining me. I've been Mashal St. Patrick, one of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. I am tired. I've got to bounce. Later.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.